Morning, this is Brian. Today is Tuesday, February 21st, 2023. And I'm here at the Iron Mountain Trailhead in the Poway area of San Diego County. And today, I'm finally gonna take my first hike to Iron Mountain. So this will mark another San Diego County hiking milestone for me. However, I kind of also have my eyes on nearby Mount Steve. There goes the famous gate, or the famous sign. I believe that's Mount Steve over there. I'm gonna see if I can make a run at that today as well. And of course, it's Iron Mountain right there. There's a little knoll next to it they call Little Iron Mountain. So originally I wanted to get out a little earlier and do the hike from the Ellie Lane Trailhead, but kind of hard for me to get out really super early this morning. So I figured I would just do this hike from the typical Iron Mountain Trailhead, and then use the Ellie Lane Trailhead another time. That's maybe about a mile or so up the road. The Ellie Lane Trailhead, I'd probably use that for a hike to North Iron Mountain and some of the surrounding peaks like Mount Ellie, Linné Peak. So here we go. The famous oak colonnade. Of course, being our native coast live oaks, Quercus agrifolia, variety agrifolia. So, yeah, I'm finally taking the walk that many local hikers have taken. Finally gonna make my run at Iron Mountain. And I expect the botanical aspects of this hike will probably be quite striking. I'm expecting it to be a very nice botanical day. Hopefully I can get some footage of some rare species. Hopefully some rare species today. So, just doing Iron itself, it's roughly about a 6-mile hike, roughly. I think it's a little over 1,000 feet in gain. I don't know the total number, but starting off on a long, relatively straight stretch, and then eventually we'll bank right and start doing the switchbacks up to Iron Mountain. Now, if feasible, good morning, Audubon's cottontail. If feasible, I'm going to try to look for a route to get up to Mount Steve. Again, which I believe is this peak over here. It's a provisional peak on Peak Bagger. And a lot of times people will combine it. So I may as well give it a shot. I don't think there's a trail going up there, but probably have to do a little cross-country navigation to get up to the top of that, I would assume. So I'll see how that goes. If possible, again, I don't know, maybe even Little Iron Summit might be a possibility. So, well, I'm gonna keep on going, and I'll see you down the way. All right, well, that's beautiful. Definitely a beautiful late winter, early spring hike. I'll tell you that. Barely even left the trailhead, and it's already looking pretty nice out here. You see the hills have a bluish haze to them. That's because of Ceanothus tomentosus. I can see a bluish haze covering the hillsides. So, I'm expecting, it's a little early for the big explosion of wildflowers, at least for the smaller plants, but Ceanothus tomentosus is not disappointing. It's bluish cast to the lower slopes of Iron. And you'll notice along the first part of the trail, lots of beautiful laurel sumacs. Really starting the day off with some pretty impressive specimens. Also, as we move on, we're also getting red monkey flower starting to really kick in right now. There we go. Diplochus puniceus. Really starting to come into its own right now. So, I imagine as I see the trail up ahead, the Ceanothus gets close to the trail, so expect to be seeing some good Ceanothus shots. So, see how this goes. Of course, white sage. There's a very old California sagebrush right here. Very old specimen. And again, here's an old white sage right here. Salvia apiana. Here we go. Ceanothus tomentosus. First of many I'm going to see today. Up close. Yeah, it's just that hill's covered in blue. There's a wild horse trail. You can make loop options out of this whole area. I think you can use that trail to also link to Ellie Lane. Want to go to the Ellie Lane trail, it'll be to predominantly do the peaks more to the north. Peaks that are just south of Woodson Mountain. I think that's Mount Ellie right there. We're getting close to the base of Mount Steve, so it could be the first attempt of the day. See how that goes. It looks like chaparral prickly pear, Apuntia auricola. Possibly. More rounded pads on them. Yeah. These Apuntias here appear to be Apuntia auricola. The chaparral or tall prickly pear, by some called oracle prickly pear. I guess because auricola sounds like oracle. Aura, I believe, means shore, being a coast. Be a coastal plant. Oracle is like a divinity, so names are not related. But yeah, it looks like Apuntia auricola is pretty common around here. There's a patch of it right up there. Come back here in spring, late spring when they're blooming, and do a spotlight video on those. All right, I'll see you up the way. All right, so here I am, near the base of Mount Steve, wondering if I should book it this way, because it doesn't look too much like a bushwhack from here. I'm sure there'll be some. Just making sure there's not another route. I think that's going to be my route. So, back to over here. So I believe this is where I'm going to leave the trail and start climbing up Mount Steve. Because it looks like there could be a potential route over here. As you can see, almost like a little gully. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start climbing up this way to see if I can get up to Mount Steve. There seems to be a lot of space to maneuver, it looks like. So this might not be an overly extenuating bushwhack. So when you see this kind of open area on the left side of the trail, this might be a good ascent route. So I'm going to go ahead and start heading up this way, see if I can get up to Mount Steve. So let's see how this will work today. If I should stick to the gully, maybe stick to the gully. So far the soil here is pretty stable, so might be able to do something hiking up this maybe. Let's see how this gully works out. It's pretty steep. We'll see how this works out. I'm going to keep on going, keep you updated on my progress. So right here, you kind of see a breach in the chaparral where the trail starts going through that ditch over there. So we'll see if this is going to be a good option for me. So I'll see you up the way and see how this turns out. Alright, so I've climbed up a little ways. This one's steep. Kind of had a side hill out of the gully for a while because there was a large, sketchy class 3 dry fall in the way. So kind of veered off to the right a little bit. Now I'm going up mostly just a slope here. It's a little gully. Kind of runs up this way, but it's very heavily vegetated. Read bushwhack. So I'm just trying to go up this way here. It's very steep, very steep. It's a little loose, a little sketchy in spots. So trying to take care while I'm going up this section here. One thing's for sure, coming down this is going to, it's not going to be fun. Oh, I'm not going to lie. It's pretty steep and it's a little sketchy. Hard to try to go up a north-facing slope of this. Forget it. It'd probably be all thick bushwhack. So I'm just trying to gently work my way up this. Thank God it's nice and cool out. I can't imagine trying to do this in the summertime. Sticking to the trail would be hot in the summer, but this would be pretty tough itself. This looks like I still got a little ways to go up. I think from where I left off on the trail down there, I think it's about a 500-foot climb, I think, to get to the top, I think, of Mount Steve. Mount Steve is about 2,000, I 245 feet. So it's not nearly the highest point in this area. But yeah, I'm just trying to see which way's better to go. Might have to do some minor rock scrambling around here too. So far, I haven't really had to do much of that, but I'll keep checking in. Hopefully I'll be at the top soon. One thing is I'm dreading going down this, that's for sure. All right, so quite a bit higher on the ridge now. So now I'm coming to a lot of this non-native pennisetum. I guess I think it's what they call this. It's a non-native type of grass, perennial grass. So, seeing some obstacles here. Oh, we're going this way. It looks like a pretty decent rock scramble. If we go this way, it'll be no more than maybe low-end class 2 over some very steep soil. So now, I'll try to traverse my way up to here. At least I got some rocks I can step on and grab with my hands if need be. So far, route finding hasn't gotten me into too difficult of any situation. Look at that. I'm trying to figure out what kind of bird that is. No, it's not a turkey vulture. A little too small. Can't really get a good view of the bird. All right. So it's going to get a little steeper now, and it looks like I'm going to get into some class 2 rock scrambling. See, that bird comes close enough. No, it is a turkey vulture, Cathartes ara. Yeah, that's definitely a turkey vulture. Couldn't see the head until it came really close. It's got that reddish bit on it, reddish kind of bald, wrinkly head. Wow, beautiful. That's really cool. All right, well, that part wasn't too bad. All right. Like I said, I'm kind of dreading going downhill. This is very sketchy. Hope I'm getting near the top soon. Whew. All right. See, these grasses are kind of hiding the rocks, so I have to pay attention. Yeah, the vulture's down there now. Okay, well, let me work out some of these issues. I'll see you closer up the way. Can't say that I'm surprised this is a false summit. I honestly didn't know what to expect. But yeah, this is a false summit. So now I'm gonna actually have to bushwhack a little bit. Get through this section here. Trying to see if there's a way to get through this brush here. I told you we'd be seeing a lot more of these. Ceanothus tomentosus. Let's see. Clear my throat a little bit there. Yep, we're bushwhacking now. We are in full bushwhack mode, folks. All right, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of a workaround. I mean, I can see some pretty clear shots to get up there from here. But there's a lot of workarounds over here to get to the final summit push. For what it looks like, I don't know how much on the backside, but on this side there's a pretty good amount of prominence. All right, so that was my workaround there. Now what I need to do is just get to that final ridge push. Just all right, getting up here is a very good workout. I'm sure Iron Mountain will be a pretty decent workout too. All right. All right. From what I can see here, it doesn't look too complicated to get up there from here. Just maybe some steep class 1. We'll see. That was a little bit of an ordeal. It's just, I wouldn't say route finding is extremely difficult, but the steepness and where you put your feet will definitely challenge you. All right, so now we're looking at more open slopes, hopefully going forward. Well, see you up the way again. Wow, this one seems to go on for quite a while. Let's see. I'm hoping this is the top. I don't want to expend all my energy just doing this one. Still got to get up to that. All right, let's see. Still a little bit of hill behind us, I think. Through this here. There's a little bit more behind this. Small class 3 obstacle right here. Almost got my shoe stuck in it. I think I'm almost at the top. Oh boy, this was a little devil to climb. Okay. Oh boy, this one definitely took the wind out of me. Almost at the top, I think. All right. I'm a little winded after this one. I'm not gonna lie. This was a pretty tough climb. Nothing extremely technical. I think there's a cairn on the other side of the shrub. Yeah, there is. Yep. Okay. This is it. Mount Steve. I believe it's 2,245 feet. There's a rock cairn indicating the top. Ooh, man, this was a little devil to climb. Not gonna lie, it's very steep coming up here. Worth it though. All right, well, of course, view-wise, let's start off towards the, let's see, that's west. So towards the north, we have North Iron Mountain right there at 2,703 feet. That's Mount Ellie. It's about 2,400 something, I believe. And of course, the highest mountain in this general area, which is that tower-studded Woodson Mountain right there at 2,894 feet. So now we're looking more towards the northwest, looking out towards Poway, San Marcos, Escondido. Then I can see Black Mountain, Rancho Penasquito, San Diego. And then I can see out towards La Jolla, out to the west and southwest. And then now more towards the more strict southwest. We got Mission Trails Regional Park. We got the Fortunas, Coles Mountain. Now more towards the south, we got San Miguel Mountain, Otay Mountain, and of course Iron Mountain. And then swinging around to the east, we got some of these higher peaks. Like I don't know how to pick them out yet. We got Lene and some other peaks that I don't know all the names to yet, which I'll learn and probably point out. So the actual high point of Mount Steve is actually over here. This is the high point right here. So let me just get through the chaparral really quickly so I can feel like I'm actually on the high point. This is where I'm going to take a short break. Maybe get a water or something. This is it, Mount Steve. I think it's 2,245. There's a hidden eucalyptus grove down there. I think it's eucalyptus cladocalyx is what it looks like. Yeah, on the trail that links over that way. So when I do the Ellie Lane trailhead, I think the Ellie Lane trailhead's right over there. That's what I think. That's the trailhead down there. And I can do Mount Ellie. I think there's a use trail going up to Mount Ellie. I think there's a use trail going up there. There is a faint use trail that's supposed to go up towards the summit of North Iron, but to actually get on top of the highest point, you'd have to do I think a class 5 boulder. You have to do some actual rock climbing. Me, I would be satisfied at the base of it. But I mean, I don't see a use trail up Ellie from here. It might be on the other side. But yeah, I'm gonna just take a picture or two up here and then start making my way down so I can actually get back on trail and start climbing towards Iron Mountain. We'll see how that goes. Alright, so I'm down from the summit of Mount Steve. That's the last push right there. Now I'm on this little shelf or little mini. This is what was the false summit, actually, when I first came up. So I know the toughest part of the descent is ahead. But as I was coming down from Mount Steve, I was thinking to myself, just say if I were off on Thursday and decided to do this hike on Thursday, we're supposed to get rain here in San Diego County, but also very low elevation snow. I was thinking to myself, the snow levels could potentially go down as low as 1,500 feet. So if I were doing this on Thursday morning, it could potentially be snowing here on Iron Mountain, Mount Steve. Woodson Mountain will probably get Woodson Mountain, which is just about 2,900 feet. Might actually get some accumulation. there might actually be some snow there. Because I mean, it's almost 3,000 feet. So, just thinking in my head. So I figured I'd speak on it a little bit because it's kind of interesting to think. 2 days from now, it could be snowing here. It could possibly be snowing here 2 days from now. So I think sometime during the day on Wednesday, it's supposed to start getting. We're supposed to start getting some weather on sometime during the day Wednesday, I think. So I'm thinking to myself, you know, the snow level is going to start out quite a bit higher. I think it's going to start out at 5,000 feet. But then it's supposed to go down during the course of the evening hours, Wednesday night going into Thursday. So if I were off Thursday, Friday, I could be potentially hiking this potentially hiking this in some snow showers. Whether anything accumulates here would remain to be seen. Probably wouldn't be much more than a dusting, or maybe melt on the contact with the ground. But it's interesting to think 2 days from now it could be snowing over here. This area very rarely gets it. So Mount Steve is at just over 2,200 feet. Iron Mountain is at almost 2,700 feet. But again, there is a very good potential for this area to get some snow showers. So just figured I would comment on that. And then another storm on, I think, Friday. But that one, the snow level's not supposed to go down below 3,000 feet, which is still pretty decently low. But it's interesting to think about as I'm trying to distract myself. Not too much, of course. Trying to distract myself from this pretty gnarly descent I'm taking right now off of Mount Steve. So that's what I'm aiming for right down there. That spot right there. That's where I left the trail to start climbing up Mount Steve. But I'm trying to see if I can get down in at least a slightly easier way. Because coming up it, there were some sketchy spots. If they were sketchy coming up, I can guarantee they're going to be really sketchy going down. So I'm going to probably lay down a rough estimate of the route I took. I know I started off near the gully, but the gully kind of flattens out once you get up a little ways. But definitely going to have to film less on the way down this. So again, straight down ahead, right near where the curvature is what I'm aiming to descend. It's where I'm aiming to descend so I can get back on the trail and continue my hike. Well, yeah, this peak doesn't get very much visitation, Mount Steve. I mean, this is definitely not one for casual hikers. I mean, Iron Mountain is a pretty good workout, but you're on trail the whole time. So you don't really have to concern yourself with route finding and everything. So this portion here is really not for the casual hiker. This is more for somebody who really takes hiking seriously. I mean, I take hiking seriously, obviously. But also, you know, does it mean you don't take things seriously if you don't stay on trail? I mean, that's not what I meant to say. It's just that you definitely want to have a sense of know how to be doing this kind of stuff. And I'm picking a lot more scrambling on this route going down. A lot more class 2 going down this way. So I'm definitely not on the same path I came up. Definitely, I'm not super far from it. Because again, I'm going to be ending up down there. So I'm not super far off of it. But I notice there's just one plant up here. Some type of bulb. Bulb monocot. I'm wondering what the identity of the plant is, because it wasn't flowering yet, for the most part. I think I've come across one in flower. I was thinking maybe it was going to be school bells, Deculostanum capitatum, subspecies capitatum. But I don't think that's what that is. I think what I'm looking at. I think that's Fremont's death camas, I believe. Plant with the white flowers. Been noticing a lot of plants with flower buds on it. Green strappy leaves, obviously a monocot. So, right there. I believe that's Fremont's death camas. I think it's Toxicoscordion fremonti, I believe. I'll double check it and leave text in the screen. But I think that's what that is. I don't believe I've ever seen that before. So add that to another list and to another reason why going to different places is important to me. Well, video's going to cut out. It's going to be 8 minutes, so I'm going to focus. Yeah, I had to shut it off before the video cut me out mid-sentence. Yeah, again, it only allows me to record 8 minutes. But yeah, I think this is Fremont's death camas. And I've been seeing a lot of this plant along the slopes of this. And this is the first one I've seen with the flower buds open. So yeah, I think that's what that is. Looks like Toxicoscordion fremonti. So that's another thing, another reason why I wanted to do Iron Mountain is because I'll be coming across plants that I'd never seen before, hopefully. And voila, I've already had my first one. Okay, so now I'm gonna have to do a little rerouting because now I'm in a complete bushwhack. So again, yeah, I'm a little bit off the route that I had started with. Somehow, I think I came up more this way, but now I'm getting myself into a complete bushwhack situation, which I'm not trying to get into. So I'm gonna have to climb back up this a little bit and curve around. Oh, there's a sketchy part right here. I just poked myself with yucca. Good job, Brian. Just get around this ledge here. All right. So yeah, route finding to get away from the bushwhacking. There we go. I emerged triumphant. All right. I'm going to focus more on not falling over myself. So I'll see you down the way. Oh, I'm just about back at the trail. I'm very relieved. Pretty gnarly descent down this. Went mostly smoothly. I mean, for what you can expect for a rough cross-country climb and descent. Just about back on the Iron Mountain Trail. That was pretty much a doozy. Pretty steep climb. Going down was just as tough as going up. Some spots trickier. But back to the trail. And I am very happy. Oh boy. I love going off trail, but I love when I get back on it. Only slipped once, and it was just a little bit on the side. For the most part, pretty much aced it. Okay, well, look at this plant here. This is cheeseweed, Malva parviflora. This is a non-native annual herb that sprouts up in disturbed areas, yards, trail sides. It's a winter annual. Malva parviflora. Okay. Ooh, sugar sumac. Okay. Rusovada. Alright, so now it's just great to be back on trail again. Another sugar sumac right there. Alright. Back on trail. Back on route. So yeah. If that looks intimidating, it is. Sometimes things don't look as bad when you finally go up them. That was pretty tough. Hope I have enough energy to get up to Iron Mountain. I told you, on the trail, we're going to start seeing a lot more of this. Ceanothus tomentosus. Holy ceanothus. Very large specimens here. Very nice sugar sumacs too. Well, these are getting quite large. All right. My legs kind of feel gelatinous right now after that. That descent was pretty tough on my legs. But it feels good to be back on trail, I'll tell you that right now. It feels really good. I'll just take my time going up this. Wow, look at all that. It's beautiful over here. We got our scrub oaks. Pop it in here. All right. Well, see you along the way with more updates. Before I go, plant I saw for the first time last week. Parrish's nightshade. Yep, of course I looked it up and found out what it was pretty quickly. Solanum parrishi. Pretty nice. Alright, I'll catch you along the way. Okay. Here we go. First hollyleaf cherries of the day. Prunus ilicifolia, subspecies ilicifolia. Very nice. Let's see. Ooh. Ooh. Milkmaids. Ooh, here's a nice little surprise on the side of the trail. Cardamine californica. Very nice. And a lot of Quercus acutidens over here too. Very nice. A lot of San Diego mountain mahogany too. Okay. All right. See if there are any more surprises up ahead. All right, so I'm climbing up the Iron Mountain Trail, and boy, is it absolutely beautiful up here. Absolutely, positively amazing. We got Big Berry Manzanita along here too. Arctostaphylos glauca. You can see their drupes are very large compared to the other Arctostaphylos species. So we've got a population of Big Berry Manzanita, lots of Torrey scrub oak. Absolutely fantastic. This is a very beautiful hike. Absolutely beautiful up here. This is an amazing trail. Can't believe it took me so long to get up here. It's very rich, tall. We even got, what do we got here? Just trying to figure out what kind of silk tassel. I think this is Gary flavescens. The leaves are not revolute. So yeah, pale silk tassel up here. I would understand Gary Avici canyon silk tassel would also be a possibility in this area too, but their leaves are more revolute around the edges. And we got bush poppy too. Haven't seen this one in a while. It's right here. Andromacon rigida. Look at this beautiful canyon too. I like this little gully down here. Very beautiful. See what happens. Well, wow, beautiful that is. Incredible. All right. Once I get through some more of this, I'll get everybody up to speed on my progress on this beautiful trail here. And looking back at Mount Steve, right up there. Now, I'm coming across interior live oak. Quick as whizzle as any, ready for tessins. Interesting. Got some interior live oak up here too now. Okay. Okay. Pretty nice out here, I'll tell you that. Ooh. I believe we have Southern California storax over here. Storax redivivus. It's this shrub here, which is leafless. Yeah, Southern California storax. I've read that there was a population of it along the Iron Mountain Trail, and there it is. I've only seen this 2 other times in my life. The first time was along the San Juan Trail in Santa Ana Mountains, Cleveland National Forest, and a specimen off of Highway 330 in the San Bernardino foothills, San Bernardino Mountains. And there's warrior's plume, Pedicularis densiflora. It's a hemiparasite. On these chaparral shrubs. And we got Southern Tossia. This plant here, Tossia arguta, just starting to flower.
Good morning. Hello, puppy. What a cute dog.
Thank you.
And a first for me. Finally get to see this plant for the first time. I've been looking for it for years. It's this plant here, Southern Mountain Misery, Camebatia australis. And it has that hazelnut smell like Camebatia foliosa. And it's in bloom. So you better believe you know what kind of video is going to be accompanying this hiking set today. You know it. This is my first encounter, and it's in bloom. Southern Mountain Misery. First time ever have I seen this plant in my life. And all the hikes I've done here in San Diego County, and this is it right here, Camebatia australis. I was really hoping to see this one today, and boy, I am so happy. It smells almost exactly like its Sierra Nevada counterpart, Camebatia foliosa. So there we have it. I thought I was going to have to go to Otay Mountain or Tecate Peak to see this plant, but nope. There it is. The Southern Mountain Misery. This is a plant I've been wanting to see for years. And it's right here along the Iron Mountain Trail. To say that I am happy is probably the biggest understatement ever. I've been wanting to see this plant for so gosh darn long, and here it is, and it's in full bloom. This is a Southern California endemic right here, much less widespread than its Sierra Nevada cousin, and it's much taller growing too than its Sierra Nevada cousin, which is more of a ground cover. This is more of a somewhat upright shrub. I wonder if the flowers have a fragrance. I kind of have, nah. But if you've ever been in the lower elevations, the lower to mid elevations of the Sierras, you notice like a really strong hazelnut-like aroma, especially on the west slope of the Sierras. That's Camebatia foliosa, the Sierra Mountain Misery, or the Sierra Bear Clover. Well, this is the Southern Bear Clover, Southern Mountain Misery, right here. I am really reveling in this moment right now. This is, to me, one of the biggest pinnacle botanical finds, and you can definitely expect a spotlight video sometime around the time when this is uploaded, or maybe even before. So you can guarantee there's going to be a spotlight on shrubs today being filmed. I am stoked beyond words. What I am saying doesn't truly capture how I'm feeling right now, despite the fact that my legs are still a little jelly from climbing up Mount Steve earlier, and climbing down it for that matter. But yes, that is one of the pinnacle plants, pinnacle endemic species here, and is probably the pinnacle, well, is the one of the pinnacle botanical finds of my hiking and botanizing career. Southern Mountain Misery, buddy. So expect a spotlight video later, or before this comes up, for all I know. All right. Actually, gonna go find a place to sit down for a few minutes. I never really took a break after doing Mount Steve, so I'm gonna need to rest up. Maybe find a big boulder or something to sit under, or sit on, I should say. And get something to eat, or drink, I should say drink. I think I brought any food. Probably should have for today. All right, well, I'll see you along the way. So, well, before I go, you're going to basically find those Southern Mountain Miseries not that long after we start getting the zigzaggy trail portion. So, you're coming up that really wide straight portion. Once you start getting on this, starts getting a little narrower, rockier, then you know you're in the area. Okay, well, we'll have a yucca as a factor here too. Okay, botanical surprises just to keep on coming. All right, so at the junction here, so before this junction here is when you're going to see it. Time to start getting ready to climb more uphill. First, I'm going to take a water break. A little thirsty. So, I haven't even finished taking my break before starting up that way towards Iron Mountain on the switchback portion. But I swear every time I turn around, some other botanical treasure catches my mind. Catches my eye and my mind. Oh, I can't even speak correctly today. I'm still really tripped out about the Southern Mountain Miseries. But here's bushru or spice bush right here, Neorydium dumosum, and it's in full bloom right here at the saddle before we're going up to Iron Mountain. Right here. Mostly 4-petaled. Some of them have 5 petals, it looks like. But it has a real spicy aroma too. Hence the name spice bush. Now, really not supposed to really touch this plant because some people can get a really nasty skin rash after contact with it. It's called phytodermatitis or something like that. Or exposure to lots of strong light can bring out a pretty gnarly rash. So I'm going to try to be careful and see if I can sniff the flower without touching everything. And it has a very strong, pungent smell to it. It's a beautiful shrub too when it blooms, and then it gets these little dimpled berries that are like extremely tiny, steely marble-sized berries, or they look like little oranges. They look like little miniature oranges, and that's actually not a coincidence because this plant is in the citrus/rue family, the Rutaceae. So it is related to citrus, and it's one of very few rue family plants that grow here wild in Southern California. Another one would be Thamnosma montana, the turpentine broom, which is in the desert hills and desert mountains. But this one is the spice bush, bushru, Neorydium dumosum, here on the Iron Mountain Trail. And of course, I haven't really spoken much on it today, but We also have a lot of this. Of course, Mission Manzanita, Xylococcus bicolor. Very common in this area as well. So it's not just a coastal canyon plant. It also grows up to at least 3,000 feet in the lower slopes of the mountains and higher foothills. But yeah, those botanically minded will find this area a treasure trove of interesting species of plants. Well, we'll get ready to continue on and see you up along the way, up the trail. Yeah, so I'm hiking along this. I'm surprised at how much interior live oak grows here. I always thought of it more of a higher elevation plant. There's a lot of interior live oak growing along here. And a lot of San Diego mountain mahogany. Suffice it to say, this is an incredibly beautiful trail. This is one of the more popular ones here in San Diego County, too. It's a very popular trail. You know, getting up to Iron Mountain is a pretty popular deal. But I'll tell you one thing, the journey up it itself is incredible. I'm really liking this trail so much. There's a lot of interior live oak around here. Yeah. A lot of these shinier bushes here are interior live oaks. Now, see what other kind of interesting things pop up. Very beautiful over here. It's absolutely gorgeous here. I'll see you along the way. Looking back towards Mount Steve again. All right. Catch you along the trail. This is exhilarating. All right, not that far along from where I last checked in. There must be a water source around here because I hear some Baja tree frogs croaking. Look at the scenery out here. Once I got through that, getting on this side of the trail, look at the beautiful boulders clinging to the chaparral along here. Wow. Must be a water source. I know they got some ponds on the Highway 67 side. We're on the kind of on the back side right now. Of course, Cleveland sage, Salvia clevelandi, is out here too. Noticed a few before, and now it's starting to pop up everywhere. It's interesting because I haven't really seen, I don't remember seeing any black sage at all. Salvia mellifera, I haven't seen any of that along the trail, any portion of this hike. We're definitely not above the elevation for black sage. I've seen that at least as high as 3,500 feet. I might have seen it close to 4,000 feet before, which is not very common. But now we're getting Cleveland sage out here. You come here in May and June, I can smell it now. and it's not in bloom. So you come here, if you're around this plant in May or June, the smell is extremely deep diving. In other words, it's very prevalent. I can just smell the leaves, but when the flowers are on it, it's a whole new level. And there's something interesting coming up as well. Something that, another botanical piece of interest that's really kind of shocking me out here. You who are fairly botanically minded, you're gonna love this trail. I guarantee it. Look over here. See that kind of sparsely leafed bushy, that large shrub right there? That's an oracle oak, Quercus morejus, here near Iron Mountain. Now that I did not expect. But I guess since interior live oak is here, I guess it's not completely out of the realm of possibility. But that is a semi-deciduous, in other words, looks like it lost maybe about 60% of its leaves, 60-70% of its leaves for winter. It's a hybrid between interior live oak, which is scattered in this area, and California black oak, which you got to go to Cuyamaca, Palomar and Cuyamaca and Mount Laguna before you start seeing those. And here is, can I say, an oracle oak out here in foothills between Ramona and Poway. Okay, well, again, if you're botanically interested, and if you're like me, you'd like to both climb peaks and botanize. If you like to hike and botanize, I can't say enough to recommend this. Then we got this huge bush poppy here that's just starting to bloom. Some of these bush poppies are really tall. Man, this is why oracle oak is here. Interior live oak. So yeah. So it seems like there's a spring or a seep that comes down here. That's what I was thinking. I was hearing some frogs croaking. So there must be enough water downstream of this slope here for them to grow. So yeah, okay, oracle oak grows here too. Okay. This has been an absolutely outstanding hike here. Going up, I'm gonna start going up some switchbacks pretty soon. All right. Who knows what else I'm gonna find? I don't know. We'll see. Nice little sumac. I'll see you on the way, probably pretty soon. First, just got to get over this little trail spring over here. Must be a spring over here. All right. See you up the way. I'm sure there's going to be more botanical finds. There are going to be more of them up the way. I was certainly right about the next botanical find being a very short distance away. I barely just rounded this hill after I put up the video. Here's another oracle oak right here. Quercus morejus. Semi-deciduous hybrid between this guy here, Quercus wozozeni, ready for Tessins, and Quercus kalagi, the California black oak. So there you go. Semi-deciduous habit. Keeps some of its leaves because of the evergreen interior live oak, and loses some of its leaves because of the black oak. Wow, the botanical hits just keep coming today, I'm telling you. I feel like it's just, thankfully, no end in sight. Beautiful. We got oracle oak over here, too. I love being in this kind of little valley here between all these peaks. It's beautiful over here. Wow. Again, I'll see you along the way. I'm quite a ways up now. You can see Mount Steve right there. That's the one I climbed this morning, earlier. I'll say, for the most part, this trail's actually pretty mellow. There are a few moderately steep sections, but nothing really that bad. I believe that's my destination right there. Looks like Iron Mountain Peak right there. So, haven't found a place to sit down yet. I said that climb up Mount Steve was pretty tiring. This trail, though, well, there's no trail up Mount Steve, but the trail coming up here, though, is pretty moderately easy. Not even that hard. Like I said, I'm just more tired after climbing up and down Mount Steve. But there are actually a few stretches of this trail that are quite level. So it's not just walking up and straight up. Not like the trailless climb I did to Mount Steve. I don't know, this might be Little Iron Mountain right here. Not sure. But good views up here, I'll tell you that. Looking towards Poway, right down below us. It's very peaceful up here. Of course, it's a weekday, so it's not going to be quite as busy. Though, there are a fair amount of people on the trail today. I think going on a day like today, one thing I do like about having weekdays off. I might have to sit in some rush hour traffic on some of my hikes, but not less crowded here on a Saturday or Sunday. Can't imagine. I wonder if this is Little Iron here. For that mountain misery plant I mentioned, the southern mountain misery or southern bear clover, that's the only spot I saw it. I think that's the only spot. It's a small population. I was mentioning Southern California storax. It's starting to leaf out up here. It's starting to leaf out already. Spring comes early for chaparral plants, apparently. So yeah, I think this is North Iron, or not North Iron. North Iron is that one there next to Woodson. Little Iron Mountain. This could potentially be a possibility. Maybe on the way out though, if I feel extra adventurous. But yeah, might be some rock scrambling, but it looks like it would be doable. There you are. Good old Iron Mountain. This will be the second Iron Mountain I've hiked. First Iron Mountain being one of the 3 Iron Mountains in the Angeles National Forest. The lowest of the 3. Iron Mountain number 3. That was 5,040 to 5,080 feet near Monte Cristo campground. Not the big 8,007 foot Iron Mountain next to Mount San Antonio and San Antonio Ridge. Never done that one. I definitely don't think I'm in shape for that one. Alright. So yeah, this has got to be Little Iron right here. Looks like less than 100 feet of prominence. Let's see. I'm gonna go for it. Let's see. Let's see how doable this is. See if maybe I can get to the top of this one real quick. All right, almost at the top of North, or keep calling it North Iron. Almost at the top of Little Iron right now. Looks like I'll have to do a little Class 3 rock scrambling here. Let's see. Okay, summit number 2 of the day, Little Iron Mountain. Don't remember the elevation of this one right now, but it's a provisional little peak on Peak Bagger. It's probably less than 100 feet of prominence, but definitely worth a little bit of extra effort to get up here. And there's my ultimate destination right there. Still have a couple hundred feet of elevation gain, but wow, pretty cool. So this is Little Iron Mountain, very small sub-peak just north of the actual Iron Mountain summit. So it looks like up ahead, when I get back to the trail, it's going to be a lot of switchbacks, little switchbacks. So I'll get up to the top of Iron. This is a cool little overlook right here too, though. I just saw it and I just had to go for it. I just said to myself, I have to go for it. Pretty easy rock scramble to get up here. But I might. I'll probably have to go back the same way I came. But no more than a very easy, slight Class 3 spot. Really tiny. It's like one little move and you're up here. You just walk up the slab. Okay, I want to take a break. maybe put in some electrolytes, then work my way back down to the trail, and then do the final climb. So I'm glad I took the extra time to come up here. Definitely worth a little extra effort. Very short, a little bit of bushwhacking, some rock scrambling, but nothing too intense to get up here. All right, well, probably see you back on the trail. I'm just gonna go roughly the same way I came up, back down to the trail. But before I let you go, nice beautiful toyon up here. All these are beautifolia. All right, I'll see you back on the Iron Mountain Trail. Well, there's Little Iron above it now. Get the switchbacks coming up. Whoopsies. Next switchback, please. A lot of southern Okay. So that plant was, that small plant, Tassia arguta, southern Tassia. Seen quite a bit of that up here on the trail. It's really cool. Really cool plant. It's in the carrot family, the Apiaceae. Perennial. So yes, we are on the final zigzags to Iron Mountain. One thing is, the trail up here is pretty well marked. For the most part, there's one spot where the trail seems to split a little further down. I took the right fork. Left fork looked more intuitive, but the right fork I think was a legit trail because it was part of a switchback. The left fork would have been cutting the switchback. It only gets steep around the switchbacks. I've noticed that once you get towards a hairpin in a switchback, that's where it gets the steepest usually. But it's definitely a good workout. This was, I would say, without the extra field trips I made, or extra side trips, or extracurricular activities, this would be at the lower end of moderate. But Mount Steve put it towards the upper end of moderate. Just because of that. Well, should be there soon. See you pretty soon. I think I'm just about there. Yeah, this last part's a little steeper. Yeah, adding those other two peaks definitely leveled it up a bit. Kind of just around the corner from it. Okay, this is about it. Iron Mountain. Hear all the voices. Here I am, Iron Mountain.
Well, I mean, the anniversary.
Alright.
It looks pretty nice. Yeah. One time I went to Powell Mountain and
Pretty busy up
and if I see that, you know, oh, it pisses me off, man. Like, yeah. So I'm like,
here. Finally made it. I'm tired though. So there are two peaks. Ooh boy. very nice mountain peak up here, along with some Mission Manzanita, Chaparral Yucca, good old common chemise, laurel sumac, and of course woolly ceanothus, good old ceanothus tomatosus. Great views out towards Cuyamaca. The Vulcan Mountains over there. Now you'll see Black Mountain over Rancho Penasquitos. And the marine layer, you can see the marine layer is coming in pretty strong. But you can see out towards the Mission Trails, the Fort North and South Fortuna, Quaipai, Piles, and Coles. And I believe that's San Vicente Reservoir down there. See out towards Otay Mountain. Very hazy out there though. Lawson and Gaskill Peaks, Los Pinos and Corte Madera, Viejas, El Cajon. So some pretty good views even on a relatively hazy day like today. So imagine after the next storm coming through, once it blows through, the views are going to be even more insane. It's a pretty cool peak. I've been just sitting on a rock, just relaxing for the last 5 or 10 minutes, just sipping of water and kicking back before I start my, I guess it's 2.9 miles according to the signs, back to the car. So if the signs are completely correct, it's just to Iron Mountain and back without the side trips would be about 5.8 miles roughly. But my mileage will definitely be a little over 6 considering Mount Steve. And the little side trip to Little Iron Mountain will probably add extremely little mileage, barely any at all, because it's a very short Class 2 scramble from the saddle between it and here, Iron Mountain. So, yeah. I'm glad to finally have made it up here. I was definitely a little busy earlier, but since it's mellowed out a little bit. This way. This is where I was sitting earlier. In a minute or two, it'll be time for me to start heading down to distant viewing. Doesn't work on the camera. You got like a little obelisk or whatever you call this thing here. Points out all the geographical locations. Birch Hill. It's just that one part of Palomar over there, I guess. For Birch Hill. Of course, we all know that that's Woodson Mountain over there. The highest peak in this area. Just over there with the towers on it. Now, I've done a hike to Woodson Mountain, but that was before I filmed my videos. Well, I'll see you down the way. Alright, so I'm working my way down. I didn't film much leaving the summit area, only because I was talking with a fellow hiker And then all the way down to the southern mountain misery population right here, we've got Commibatia australis. Southern mountain misery or southern bear clover. So, some lady who was part of a hiking group, she and I were starting to hike down, and she said, "Oh, you can go ahead and pass me." I said, "I'm not in a rush. I'm I'm good." So we just talked for about a mile and a half, and then I had to stop and shoot a spotlight video on the southern mountain misery plant. So maybe you'll get your back. Really nice lady. And we'll see, maybe pass up on the way down. We'll see. Some beautiful views. I'll catch you on the next clip. So I'm going down into the valley. Relatively soon we should be back on the relatively straight, less rocky portion. Kind of have a rock stuck in my shoe. First, oh Brian, why don't you stop and just shake your shoes out? Too lazy. Yes, I can defy logic sometimes. No, I don't care. Just too lazy. But we are making our way down this beautiful trail. And like I said, I didn't feel much coming down from the peak because I was focusing on, conversing with a fellow hiker with whom I had a pretty good conversation, and just enjoying taking it slow going down, because it's very rocky. One thing about the Iron Mountain Trail, it's pretty rocky in parts. So I just kept going down, and also spending more time walking down at my feet. Going up, it's not as bad. Going down, you gotta watch your steps. So shout out to Mary. It's nice meeting you on the trail today. Really glad to strike up a conversation with a fellow hiker who loves nature. And hopefully your return trip is just as good. But here we are, down through this beautiful, very lush chaparral grove here. Beautiful Mission manzanita, Xylococcus bicolor. So yeah. And subspecies of eastwood manzanita, Arctostaphylos glandulosa. Again, I'm not trying to separate out the species or the subspecies right now. That I can do another time. Maybe there'll be some area-specific subspecies I can research. Until then, it's Arctostaphylos glandulosa. Excuse me. Got about a mile left. See, here's another one. Yeah, so we have at least 2 different types of true manzanitas. And this is Arctostaphylos glauca, the big berry manzanita. Big berry manzanita has much larger manzanita drupes. They flower and fruit much earlier. These ones are already in fruit. Sometimes they'll start flowering in December. They have smooth leaves. Smooth leaves. So if you rub your finger on the leaves, they're glabrous or hairless. So they're relatively smooth to the touch. Eastwood manzanita kind of has a slightly sandpapery texture to it. I believe those are the only 2 true manzanitas. Now, I did mention Mission manzanita, Xylococcus bicolor. Those ones, again, are not true manzanitas, albeit relatives. They're related in the heath family, the Ericaceae, and they are related to the madrones in the Arbutoideae, the madrone tribe. So they're related to the madrones, the strawberry tree, a lot of those other plants. They're also in the same family as the heather plants. The heather is in Great Britain. The heather's in the subalpine zones. The blueberries, cranberries, all in the same family. I'm not sure what tribe the cranberries and blueberries belong to. I'm not sure. But they are in the heath family. This has been an awesome trail. Now the weather's changed quite a bit. Now we got some stratocumulus clouds overhead. So the marine layer's finally punched its way in. The whole time I was hiking, I noticed off to the west there were lots of there was a bank of low clouds to the western sky line and horizon. So you couldn't really see the coastal cities too well. And now the clouds have kind of pushed inland. It's been an absolutely amazing day out here. There's some pretty cool people up here too. Cool people. Obviously the botany up here is insane. Everything from southern bear clover / mountain misery to Torrey scrub oak, Ceanothus tomatosus, oracle oak. There's just so much variety here. So if you're botanically minded, you've got to check this trail out. Beautiful, beautiful out here. And then the valley scenery, being surrounded by the hills, it's just stunning. And you do get some pretty good views. Here we go. We're going this way. I think this is going to be a more direct route getting back. I'll see you along the way to update my progress. So now I'm in this little, really thick chaparral area on this very mesic north-facing slope. It's really thick and dense here. And in these little shady areas, sometimes you'll come across this plant here. Beautiful plant right here. Whitish flowers. This is called toothwort or milkmaids. It's Cardamine californica. Cardamine californica. It's a member of the mustard family, the Brassicaceae. Beautiful plant. Those 4-petaled flowers, very attractive. I said milkmaids or toothwort. Culminating, Californica. So you're here in these shadier sections. I've seen it over on Soledad Mountain too. When I did a hike up Mount Soledad, at the time I wasn't sure what it was. I considered maybe, yeah, it might be Culminating, Californica, and went home and confirmed it. So there you go. Beautiful white flowers. Beautiful. Absolutely awesome plant. I'm also being careful because there's poison oak growing in here, so I'm trying to be careful. Beautiful plant. You know, these big berry manzanita drupes are almost ready. Interesting. Yeah, the Eastwood manzanitas, they're blooming. They're in the blooming phase right now. But big berry manzanitas bloom a lot earlier. Whew, boy. All right. Tell you one thing, adding those 2 extra summits, whew, made me tired. Definitely feel like I got my full experience today. I'm telling you, whether I'm up or going down, the botanical hits keep on coming, and it's just too awesome to pass up. Here we are. We got a species of clematis right here. This one appears to be Clematis passiflora, like the ones I saw over in Navajo Canyon last Wednesday when I went on a short hike over there. That's Clematis passiflora. That's I mean, at the time when I pointed out that I saw a clematis, I wasn't sure what species it was. And here's some type of non-native rock rose. I believe it's in the genus Cistus. I believe it's starting to bloom already. This is not native. Not sure where it's from. I wouldn't be surprised if it's from the Mediterranean or something. I'm not even sure what species that is, honestly. So, since there are millions of these Ceanothus tomatosus bushes together, I can smell the combination of all of them. Usually by themselves, their fragrance doesn't waft too far, but when they're together like that, boy, they really carry off. So I'm just about at the base of Mount Steve. So I'm really close to getting back. I climbed all the way up that earlier. Actually, that's not even the summit there. That's a false summit. The summit's actually quite a bit higher than that. That's like a little plateau or a shelf before you do the final climb. I'm almost back to where the cross-country route was. So here we are. This is about where I left the trail. My first one of the day. Mount Steve. And that was the second one right there, Little Iron right there. That's Little Iron Mountain. That was the second peak. And of course, the summit of Iron Mountain itself. So, all in all, very successful day in my opinion. Definitely worth the effort getting out here. totally think it is. Well, once you combine Mount Steve and Little Iron, the difficulty level definitely goes up, especially Mount Steve. Little Iron Mountain is a relatively short scramble from the little saddle between it and the summit of Iron. You just climb up. I don't even know if it's 100 feet of climbing. Oh, the breeze feels great right now. That's looking over towards Black Mountain way off in the distance. So. Extracurricular activities. I get my little cross-country fix in, so I'm proud of myself. Well, see you down the way. Alright, coming towards the home stretch. Yep. That's why this part of the trail smells so good. Also, because of that, salvia. One thing I like about this part of the trail, look at all the beautiful girl sumacs. Just pretty nice, pretty tall ones here. Wow, these are beautiful. Beautiful specimens here. There's something in there. I was gonna check it out. Look at this big little sumac. That's a big one. That's a big little sumac. I don't know what that is in there. Might be a rented bird. Coming out of this yada. Maybe. Yeah, there's some great specimens of Laurel sumac around here. Gosh. These are pretty impressive. Love when I get like this. No black sage around here. I'm really surprised. Down here you got a lot of white sage. But higher up, it's all Cleveland sage actually once you get up. There's a lot of Cleveland sage on the trail. There's a younger Laurel sumac right here. Take some time to appreciate these. I did appreciate them a little bit. I was too busy. Mount Steve up there. There it is, Mount Steve. There's that false summit I went up for first. So once you get to the false summit, you still got quite a bit of work to do. Yeah. The journey's been definitely worth it. I can still smell the southern mountain misery or southern bear clover, Kamibati australis. I can still smell it on my fingers. Yeah, like I said, it sticks with you for a while. I think the Sierra one would probably be more prolific in the fragrance department. Probably. There are more laurel sumacs. Can't get enough of these. These are beautiful. These are nice specimens. This is one of the plants I grew up with and grew to appreciate a lot. Get to the base of this one without bushwhacking. I actually did some bushwhacking through some laurel sumac onto the peaks. Whoa, look at that. How beautiful is this? Look at the trunks all meeting together in the center. How fantastic is this? And a wood rat nest. Look at that beautiful laurel sumac right here. Actually, two of them. That's one thing about these flatter lowland spots, where these laurel sumacs can get really big. I've seen them much bigger than these before. I've seen some huge ones. But these are very impressive. Beautiful. Nice open, very nice looking specimens. I'm not here to compare what I've seen in the past to what I'm seeing now. I'm just enjoying what I'm seeing now. Catch up on the wrap up. I'll also find something else to showcase along the way. It's very possible this whole day's been a nice variety of flora to showcase. So don't be surprised if there's another clip. I'm just about to hit the colonnade of oaks. I'll see you there. Back at the colonnade of oaks. There's an Italian stone pine growing in there. Italian stone pine. Unless it's an Aleppo pine. They look very similar when they're young. Let's see what's over here. That's an Aleppo pine. I can tell by the cones. That's an Aleppo pine. Ooh, an African sumac. Cool. This is actually related to laurel sumac and sugar bush and lemonade berry. But it's not native here. This is from South Africa. They also call it Karee, K-A-R-E-E. This is Cearcea lancea. Used to be known as being in the genus Rus. So it used to be known as Rus lancea. But yep, Cearcea lancea. Evergreen shrub in the Anacardiaceae, cashew family. Does very well in our climate. Used to have them on my side yard when I lived in Buena Park, Orange County. There were some street trees down our street. Ooh. Okay, what we got running around in there? What kind of lizard? I don't know, can't tell. And Eucalyptus cladocalyx. Sugar gum. Alright. Here we are, back to the colonnade or the tunnel of oaks. I don't know, my body is really tired right now. Those extra peaks really, especially early on, when I'm supposed to have the most energy. I mean, Iron Mountain was the easiest, or the second easiest, well, let's say probably the easiest out of them. Because the other ones required rock scrambling and off-trail hiking and steep slopes. So overall, I probably clocked in more than 6.5 miles altogether, and probably at least 1,600 feet of elevation gain, including Iron Mountain, Mount Steve, and Little Iron Mountain. Overall, very beautiful hike. I'm just about to hit the 67 right now. recommend the hike? Of course. It's a San Diego County classic, Iron Mountain. Now for the more adventurous, would I recommend the tougher version, climbing up Mount Steve. If you have enough hiking experience and you're comfortable with off-trail travel, yeah, that's Mount Steve right there. That's Mount Ellie. That's for another time. You know, I park in Ellie Lane and do North Iron. I might combine those two. That's North Iron Mountain over there. Here we are at the end of another one. See my car right over there. This is basically going to wrap it up for me. Thanks for watching another one of my hiking adventures. Hope you enjoyed this one as much as I enjoyed showing all the beauty of this area. So I guess for a final wrap up, went up the trail, and then I went up here to Mount Steve, went back down, then went up to the saddle between Little, Iron, and Iron, climbed Iron, and then did Iron. And on the way back, just took the trail the rest of the way back. It's an out and back. So thanks for watching my adventure. Hopefully next week we'll have some more interesting prospects ahead. Hoping to maybe try a different venue. We'll see. I'm not going to say anything yet. From Iron Mountain, Brian saying goodbye. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on another hike.